when I say consistent, that's not the same thing as it happens every single day in the same pair. If you look at, like, for instance, none of the things I'm teaching are existing in this pair right now because it's not showing clear, clean price action. So since it's not doing it, I take my hand off of it and my attention goes elsewhere. Where has it been diverted to? Index futures. Index futures will have this type of price action soon. Does it mean that index futures trading is dead? No. Does it mean the algorithm has stopped working? No. It just means that it's being heavily manipulated. So what does that mean for you internally? Don't touch it. This is a rattlesnake. If you see a rattlesnake on a trail and you're walking down there and you hear that rattle, I've never seen a rattlesnake live in front of me, okay? But I'm telling you what, I'd recognize it if it started rattling. And I'm going to stand still. And I'm going to look around and find it. And wherever it is, I'm backing away from it. Simple. Well, I treat these times in the marketplace just like that. Because there were times where I looked at this and said, I'm better than the average bear. I'll get in here and find the honey. Well, there you go. I got stung. That's why I'm talking to you like this, folks. You gave me your time, you gave me your ear, and you're giving me your trust. I'm giving you the best advice anybody could ever give you. Don't discount it as just talking, droning on, pontification. No. This is real insight, folks. It's 3 decades of it. I lost a lot of money not doing what I'm teaching you to do. Like, I'm teaching you the very things that I fell victim to and how to avoid it. Wouldn't you want to do that? I would literally give everything I had back in 1992 if I had someone like I'm trying to be for all of you. I'm trying to be that person that has real world experience, that knows what's going on, proves it, and I'm trying to show you, lower your expectations on yourself. Don't try to be an Olympic trader, okay? You don't need to be Olympic. Just be consistent. If you find a bread and butter setup once a week, you can do a lot with that. It just takes consistency and money management. The money management does the heavy lifting. The hardest thing is finding something you're going to trust and stay with. And when it doesn't deliver, or when you can't find it in your market, it doesn't change it. It just means you stand still. That's it. And it's hard. It's real hard, because what happens if you go 2 weeks without taking a trade? What's that going to do for your mindset? For some of you, it's going to drive you nuts. Others, it's going to make you want to change the style of trading. And they're both wrong. 30 years taught me that. Books didn't teach me that. Books talked about system hopping, but you don't really know that lesson until you blow accounts, do dozens of different trading styles and approaches that don't work. They have no sound logic in the marketplace, why it's doing this and doing that, divergence indicator this, harmonic that. All those things are something that promotes the idea of a religious view on the marketplace, and not just time and price. Time and price is not a religion. It's the truth. That's what these markets deliver on. Look at the chart. What's at the bottom of the chart? Time. What's on the vertical axis? Price. Why are you complicating it? You're saying I'm complicating it. Why are you? You're adding triangles and shapes and all these things and moving averages and all this stuff on your chart, instead of just looking at what these candlesticks are documenting. Where was it an hour ago? Where was it last Friday? Where is it likely to go today? Where is it likely to go by the end of the week? If you ask those questions every single time you sit in front of the charts, you'll have a pretty good idea of what it's likely to do. Will it happen every single time? No. But by itself, that right there, what I just mentioned to you, that was the first steps for me to stop looking at those books. Those books are going to tell you things that 90% of people that trade lose money on. Let's be honest, folks. Let's just call it like it is, okay? all of those books, all of those teachers, all these YouTube channels, everybody out there is talking about the same things that result in the 90% blowout of live traders. So why are you holding on to that stuff with a death grip? No, no, no. It's going to work for me. I did that same thing. And I lost. Blue accounts over and over again. Crying, tears, weeping. Why can't I figure it out? Those things are in a 90% bracket of losing money. If you walk down the road and you see these glasses of water, free to drink, you walk over to it, you pick it up, you sniff it, just doesn't feel right, and you take a step back and you watch other people walk over there, and as soon as they take a drink, you start choking, they drop dead right there. How many people do you need to see pick up that glass, take a drink, and drop dead before you realize it's probably not a good idea for you to have a swig? But unfortunately, marketing is what it is, okay? There's always some clever little way, gimmicks is what they are, of making it seem like there's this new twist on something old, okay? And bad logic, no matter how much lipstick you put on it, is still bad logic. You can't change that. So the idea is for you to find it in the price action. The things you're looking for in the chart or in price action, they must appear clearly in price. And if it's not clear, if it's real muddy and just choppy like this, it's indicating to you that this is not a market. The smart money is going to sit down and say, yeah, this is where we're going to operate today. It's heavily manipulated. It's not being allowed to trade freely. It's held. So if it's being held and manipulated, do you want to be in there? Because if you are doing that, you're gambling.
That's a secret that unlocks performance that you've never even dreamed of. Because when you excel in knowing where your threshold is and you say, okay, I'm content with that. That's why I always said, be content with enough. What is enough? It's going to be uniquely different for all of you. $15,000 winning trade may not be significant for some of you. For other people, that's a whole year and I'm done. I ain't got to do shit now. So it's a matter of personal preference and where you are, what your expectations, what your skill set provides for. But your mental capital, the way you build that up, is when you have the victory like this and it's done well, and you may have never taken a trade on this. But remember, in your journaling, you're going to be recording it like you saw it coming and you did. You're tricking your brain with pseudo experience. So you're always constantly laying down foundation psychologically, because this is where all this battle's won. It's not in the chart, it's in your head. Because you can talk yourself out of a winning trade easily, and you can talk yourself out of a short-term drawdown that will eventually pay out if you just stuck to the model and what you're trying to trade. But your mental capital needs to be increased. How do you increase your mental capital? Because you can't deposit mental money. It's experience. That experience factor is something that goes largely untouched in terms of teaching. Mark Douglas didn't talk about it enough. He didn't really get to the grasp of, you have to fortify yourself between trades. When you've done something correctly, sit still. Feel what it feels like to be content, not needing to go to that next trade. How do you know you're ready to go in and trade with live funds? How do you know when you're ready to do a funded account challenge? When you're not driven by the passion to get into a next new trade. If you're the person or persons that always tweet to me when I'm calling something out and it delivers, you're the first person in the line that says, what's next? What's going to do next? You're not ready, bro. You are fucking not ready. You're a fiend. You're literally cracked out. You're equivalent to having a crack pipe in your fucking mouth, and you're literally out of rocks, and you want to get the next one. You're fiending. You're not ready. You are absolutely not ready. The people that are like, yeah, I'm going to take this week off, but the market's going to do this. Yeah, it's all right. That's someone that's got the right mindset. If they're already consistent in terms of what they can see and forecast and price action, and they can take themselves away from the market, even when they know there's something coming. That's maturity. That is a skill set that if you can forge that before you press into real money, that factor of, well, discipline, it will serve you so well. But you all think it's just the stuff in the charts that's what you need. The new ICT gimmick, the new something setup or model, whatever. It's not. I've given you shit. I've given you so many things already. But you are the missing final piece of the puzzle. And you don't want to believe me because it's painful. I'm going to constantly remind you. Every time I talk in the Twitter space, I'm reminding you, sometimes gently. But in this one, it probably hurts a little bit. It probably feels off-putting. Don't hate the messenger, okay? I'm Dr. ICT, okay? I'm telling you, this is the medicine that you need. It doesn't taste good, but it helps you. It makes you better. And it's important for you to grow and understand how to do this correctly and not hurt yourself. That's why I teach in a demo. Because if I teach in a demo and I go out there and I show you what I'm doing, because the misnomer is this. If I'm the number one guru on Twitter, right, Patrick? And I'm trading with a demo, I don't trade with live money, I'm already loaded. I don't need to prove people I have made money in the marketplace. I don't need to do that. I'm calling it. My students are making money. The stuff happens. That's all that needs to be known. That's the only thing I promised, that you're going to learn how to read price action. I did not promise you profitability. That's something that you individually control. But if I'm out here in public, in the mode of an educator, and I have no emotional commitment that holds me back about using a demo, then you should have no problem practicing in one. If your mentor is operating and teaching through the medium of a demo, I don't listen to these jokers out there that have something to sell. Oh, wow, he does this and he does that. And they're not even doing anything close to what we do. Their whole month, I could do that in one fucking day. One day. From beginning to end, show you the whole fucking history. Done. I don't need to do that. I don't have a little dick complex, okay? I'm completely content with who I am, how I am, and my own length. I don't need to worry about anything else. So when you're looking at this, don't view what you're doing as a demo is not significant enough, because it is significant, because you're reading price. The same price action that's unfolding in that demo is happening for people that are trading in real money. The real money people that did everything opposite to what you were doing are expecting in price action and lost their ass. Believe me, they know for fucking certain that shit just happened to them. I'm teaching you so that way you have no emotional connection to this. You have no connection to it emotionally. So you can't be swayed in the periods where it will do its damage. You can't get all, egotistical, because you're not making any money. You're not getting taxed. You can't go out and spend those demo dollars, but you're getting that experience. And you're allowing yourself to learn what I'm teaching you. When you get it right, pause. Feel what it feels like to get it right. Give your journal time between entries where you executed and your next trade. I'm not convincing you or trying to talk you into taking trade after trade after trade after trade to fill your journal up. That's not what this is all about. It's quality over quantity. And just because I'm teaching you the skill set through the medium of day trading, it's not everyday trading. There's recklessness out there, and people gravitate to wild cowboy type shit. And I've done that stuff. And I fell victim to it when I was coming up. I saw people doing some crazy stuff on America Online. I was like, well, I want to do that too. And I got hurt. And I tried to force myself to learn what it is they're doing, and I couldn't do it. So I just stopped. If I'm not able to bridge the gap for you, I'm not the best mentor, okay? I've said this many times before. I'm not the best mentor. I'm sure in years to come, someone's going to properly learn what I'm teaching, and they're going to do a better job of coaching other people, okay? But until I'm done, that can't happen. But November, we're done. I may not be able to fulfill that need. That one of you, or individually some of you that are listening, I might not be the person that can deliver it. It might be one of my children later in life if they decide to go that route. I don't know. I'm doing the best I can. I have limitations as a person. I have things I wrestle with, and I'm a real person. So I'm practical. I know that I'm not going to reach all of you. And it hurts me because I try very hard, very, very hard to try to do whatever I can to allow you to understand what it is that you need to know and to eliminate the things that you're worrying about. And it frustrates me when I see people not listening to the sound advice that I wish I would have paid whatever I had to learn how I'm teaching you. Like, I'm trying to be, because I know what it was like. I lived it. I mean, I know 20-year-old Michael. I mean, I'm that guy. And if I would have had this, it would have done so much for me. It would have encouraged me when I needed it. It would have kept me aligned properly, and it would have allowed me to control myself when I didn't have any control. When I would win, I'd want to go back in right away. When I lost, I'd want to go right back in. Like, I was not fearful. Once I've learned certain methods of getting in, I was looking for it all the time, not understanding that the market's going to have an ebb and flow. There's a time delivery to all this shit. And unless you understand that, just the liquidity alone is not enough. It's essential, but it's not enough. You have to know how they use time. And that takes time to teach, which is why I tell everyone, minimum is a year. And that's just really scratching the surface. Your best learning is going to be in your year 2 through 4. But you can be profitable all through that. So don't let that be a deterrent. Don't let it be like, you're saying I can't make money. No, you can fucking make money just watching the YouTube playlist from 2022. If you have a general foundation of understanding what price action usually does, if you're familiar with trading and you go into that model, you can go right out the gate, boom, and start finding profitability. I'm convinced of that. But the problem is I have a lot of people that come to me that are greenhorns. They're brand new. They're just right out of the womb. Okay, here, make me a trader. I don't know how to walk yet, but make me a trader.
And I'm trying to show you, lower your expectations on yourself. Don't try to be an Olympic trader, okay? You don't need to be Olympic. Just be consistent. If you find a bread and butter setup once a week, you can do a lot with that. It just takes consistency and money management. The money management does the heavy lifting. The hardest thing is finding something you're going to trust and stay with. And when it doesn't deliver, or when you can't find it in your market, it doesn't change it. It just means you stand still. That's it. And it's hard. It's real hard, because what happens if you go 2 weeks without taking a trade? What's that going to do for your mindset? For some of you, it's going to drive you nuts. Others, it's going to make you want to change the style of trading. And they're both wrong. 30 years taught me that. Books didn't teach me that. Books talked about system hopping, but you don't really know that lesson until you blow accounts, do dozens of different trading styles and approaches that don't work. They have no sound logic in the marketplace, why it's doing this and doing that, divergence indicator this, harmonic that. All those things are something that promotes the idea of a religious view on the marketplace, and not just time and price. Time and price is not a religion. It's the truth. That's what these markets deliver on. Look at the chart. What's at the bottom of the chart? Time. What's on the vertical axis? Price. Why are you complicating it? You're saying I'm complicating it. Why are you? You're adding triangles and shapes and all these things and moving averages and all this stuff on your chart, instead of just looking at what these candlesticks are documenting. Where was it an hour ago? Where was it last Friday? Where's it likely to go today? Where's it likely to go by the end of the week? If you ask those questions every single time you sit